Someone cuts you off in traffic and your entire morning is ruined. Your boss sends a passive-aggressive email and you spend the next 3 hours mentally rehearsing comebacks. You check your phone and see that post, you know the one, and suddenly your mood plummets. You're living at the mercy of every external event. Every comment, every slight, every inconvenience has the power to hijack your inner state. Your peace depends on other people's actions, the weather, whether that person texts you back. Most people accept this as normal. They think emotional reactivity is just part of being human. But what if the truth is the opposite of what you've been told? You've tried everything to manage your emotions. Positive thinking that feels forced. Meditation apps that work for 10 minutes before the next trigger hits. Deep breathing that feels pointless when your heart is racing with anger. Maybe you've convinced yourself you're just sensitive. Maybe you've accepted that some people push your buttons, and there's nothing you can do about it. Here's what I need you to understand. It's not your fault. You were never taught that emotional freedom was possible. You've been operating without the most important knowledge a human being can possess, that your emotional state is something you can actually control. Over 2,000 years ago, a man named Epictetus discovered the key to ultimate freedom. He taught his students something revolutionary. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Epictetus. Within our power are our thoughts, judgments, and responses. Outside our power are other people's actions, the weather, the past, and what others think of us. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the ancient world, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Marcus Aurelius. He understood that his true power lay not in controlling his empire, but in controlling his responses to the challenges of ruling it. And here's what cutting-edge neuroscience confirms about this ancient wisdom. Fibich and Galati, 2025. Stoicism, mindfulness, and the brain. Neural basis of self-regulation. Frontiers in psychology. Your brain is literally wired for second-order self-control. The ability to think about your thinking. What the Stoics called virtue, we now understand as a neurological capacity. Here's what groundbreaking research just discovered. Dartmouth-led fMRI study, 2024. Neural hierarchies in emotion regulation and cognitive reappraisal, Nature Neuroscience. The ability to reframe negative events, core to Stoic practice, depends on specialized brain regions in the prefrontal cortex. In other words, what philosophers intuited 2,000 years ago is now visible in brain scans. You wake up and immediately check your phone. Before you've even gotten out of bed, your emotional state is being determined by external inputs you have no control over. You're waiting for that text back, refreshing email, checking social media for validation. You've outsourced your emotional well-being to algorithms designed to capture your attention, not protect your peace. And here's what the latest research proves about this pattern. D'Aurizio et al. 2025. Meta-analysis on anger and emotion regulation strategies. Nature Scientific Reports. People who practice reappraisal and acceptance consistently experience less anger and emotional volatility, while rumination and avoidance fuel the very reactivity they're trying to escape. Think of your mind as a fortress. External events are like armies laying siege. They can make noise and cause disturbance, but they cannot breach your inner citadel unless you open the gates. Your thoughts, judgments, and responses are the gates. You are the gatekeeper. Right now, you've forgotten you're the gatekeeper. You've left the gates wide open, allowing every external event to march straight through. Someone's comment becomes your internal monologue. Traffic becomes your stress level. Here's what brain imaging reveals about emotional precision. Wang et al. 2024. Negative emotion, differentiation in EEG. Markers of cognitive reappraisal. Human brain mapping. The more precisely you can label your emotions, the better your brain becomes at reframing difficult situations. This means, if you can name it, you can tame it. Emotional granularity is literally a superpower for resilience. Your fortress isn't broken. You've just forgotten how to operate the gates. Here are 2 practices that will help you reclaim your fortress. Practice 1. The Daily Control Review. Each evening, ask yourself, what upset me today that was outside my control? How did I react? How could I have responded differently? Example, you got upset about traffic. Traffic equal outside your control. Your response equals within your control. Better response. Use the time for reflection or simply practice patience. And here's proof these ancient techniques actually work. McClellan and Direction 2020. 8-day Stoic training reduces rumination and increases self-efficacy. Cognitive therapy and research. Just 8 days of Stoic journaling reduced rumination and increased self-efficacy in people at risk for anxiety, proving these ancient techniques can shift your inner world in less than 2 weeks. Practice 2. The gatekeeper pause. When something triggers an emotional reaction, pause and ask, is my interpretation the only possible one? What other ways could I view this? You've probably experienced that moment when you realize the power was always yours. Maybe during a difficult conversation, when you chose to listen instead of defend. Maybe when you decided not to check your phone for the 100th time. Here's what research confirms about practicing adaptive responses. Meta-analysis of stress inoculation training, 2025. Effectiveness across populations and settings, clinical psychology review. Practicing adaptive responses to stress, akin to Stoic premeditation, significantly reduces anxiety and improves performance under pressure. You might be thinking, but shouldn't I be upset when bad things happen? This reveals a misunderstanding. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They were emotionally intelligent. They distinguished between initial impressions, natural, and sustained emotional reactions, choices. The first impression cannot be controlled, but the sustained reaction can be. When Marcus Aurelius lost his children, he grieved, but he didn't allow external chaos to create internal chaos. He felt the emotion without being enslaved by it. And here's what the latest research confirms about acceptance. Liu et al., 2024. Mindfulness-based emotion regulation, a systematic review and meta-analysis. Affective science. A major 2024 review confirmed what Stoics intuited 2,000 years ago, that acceptance, not resistance, is the key to emotional freedom. This means acceptance isn't weakness, is a scientifically validated tool for reducing emotional reactivity. The counterintuitive truth: when you stop needing external events to go your way to feel good, you actually become more effective at influencing them. You make decisions based on wisdom rather than emotional reaction. And here's the meta-analysis that proves it. Meta-analysis on emotion regulation, 2025. Adaptive versus maladaptive strategies. Nature. Acceptance and cognitive reappraisal, both central to Stoic practice, consistently predict lower anger and better emotional health, while rumination and avoidance worsen it. You stand at the gates of your mental fortress facing a choice. Path 1. Emotional reactivity. Continue letting external events determine your inner state. Keep refreshing social media for validation. Keep letting circumstances control your peace. Path 2. Emotional sovereignty. Recognize that you control the gates to your fortress. Choose to respond rather than react. Practice distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Your fortress can become unshakable, not because nothing difficult happens, but because you've trained yourself to maintain your center, regardless of external storms. The person who harmed you, the situation that disappointed you, the outcome that didn't go your way, these only have power over you if you continue giving them that power. Most people will remain emotionally reactive their entire lives. Happiness held hostage by weather, other people's opinions, social media algorithms. They'll worry constantly about things they cannot control. But you now possess the key to ultimate freedom. Emotional sovereignty. You know the difference between what you can and cannot control. Your fortress has gates, and you are the gatekeeper. You are the gatekeeper of your own peace. Take a breath. Notice that in this moment, in the fortress of your mind, you are safe. Someone you know is still letting external events control their peace. They're still carrying emotional chains they don't know how to unlock. Share this with someone who needs to reclaim their fortress. It might be exactly what they need to hear. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom that actually works in modern life. What's the first gate you need to close in your mental fortress? Let me know below. Remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Choose sovereignty. Choose peace.